Welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now redubbed by Disney or current Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it. Legends. So today, I'm dressed like this because I have another interview because my last interview did not bear fruit. So, well, this is like my go-to shirt. It's just like the nicest one I have. So we'll see what happens. If I do get it, unfortunately for you, the videos will not come as quickly. But yeah. But anyway, off of that, back to Star Wars. Today for you, I have the book 2 in the what is it, Darkness Trilogy. And today I have for you The Unseen Queen. Still by Troy Denning, of course. So in this book, it's been a year after the events of the previous book. The Killicks are living in their little corner. Shists are over in theirs. Jason is now tutoring some sort of master-apprentice relationship, though Ben's still trying to figure out if he wants to use that power of his, because in the last book we learned that he's just kind of not about using it. Or at least hiding from it for whatever reason. And we get some interesting developments with Jason and Tino Kaw. Meanwhile, the whole gang, you know, the main characters kind of show up to the Killicks' now new homeworld, but there's stuff still going on, and there's this black Membrosia that Jaina and Zek earlier were chasing down, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the galaxy right now. It's having to do with the Killicks still. And so they go back to the planet to investigate. And so we have what ends up happening. Sorry, I just finished it. So more of the end is on my mind. But so they end up having to go figure out some stuff by separating. So we get Han and Luke stuck on this place with their own adventures. We have Mara and everyone else going about doing something else. We got the problems with the Galactic Alliance because Callum Moss wants to go against the Killicks. He doesn't see why anyone would want to defend them because they haven't. It keeps looking really bad for the Killicks, like they are just bad people and stuff. So that's the whole thing. The Jedi Council, on Coruscant and stuff. I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired, but we have more stuff going on with Lemma Rar. She's still following the Killicks, seemingly doing more dark side things. So I don't think by technicality she is dark side, but she is doing whatever the darkness requires. And Jason sees a vision that makes him think that this war needs to happen and that the Killicks need to be exterminated. So that's... I already kind of spoiled something. So that's about... as non-spoilers, I'm going to go there. There's a lot more I could discuss and nuances in there. See, I feel like it's a bit hard to talk about this book because I feel like a lot of people, all the people that do reviews on this series, they do the trilogy in one video. I decided to do them separately, so I just don't feel like there's as much to talk about, non-spoiler wise. So, but if you read the first one already and you thought that was interesting, I promise you're going to enjoy this one. And of course, we get more of prequel era stuff with Luke seeing R2-D2 memory stuff. So if any of that interests you, you should go check out this book. And it's shorter, so it definitely moves at a faster pace, and I think it's well worth your time. Anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers. I'm going to get into big boy spoilers now, so if you don't want those, it's time for you to check out. Yeah, as I mentioned, a year since the last book. Jason is some sort of Ben's master, kind of, sort of, but like Ben doesn't actually like want to learn stuff. He's trying to find out through Jason if he should continue to learn. And Jason meets, this is very big important stuff for the rest of Jason's arc, meets Alana Solo. In the last book, Tino Ka and Jason Solo, they had sexual relations, which I'm still upset about because they should be together. And I guess they sort of kind of are. But just never wanted it to happen this way. So they have this kind of, what's the word for it? Like, not illegitimate, but like she's the queen. She should be marrying the royalty, and she has a kid with this nobody. Well, I mean, it's not a nobody to her, but to her people, it's a nobody. And so Jason is going to be very protective of this baby, his child. And it's going to change a whole lot of things about him moving forward. And I can already see where it's going, and I like where it's going. And I don't think the people that complain about him turning... Okay, spoilers for Legacy of the Force. But if you don't know it, you don't know it. And I'm sorry, but like it's one of the first things I learned in the EU. Jason Solo becomes Darth Kaitis, which I've heard from some people is even better than Darth Vader, and could even give a Palpatine a run for his money. But you have to remember that in that traitor book, he was tortured and utterly shattered. And yeah, he kept himself together. He was still an enemy to defeat. And they defeated it. What happens after? That's what was keeping him together. That's what kept him on the right path. But he was already seeing things differently. Now you add that he has a kid. And when you're a parent, I mean, I'm not a parent, but I can't imagine you try to do anything to protect your child. Now, of course, Han and Leia have been doing a pretty good job, I think. Luke and everyone have, but it doesn't mean everyone, especially someone who's been tortured like Jason has. I have to say, Luke might be the Grand Master, but he's never gone through what Jason has. Jason has gone through so much in so little time. He's probably faced more than Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker, at least in terms of how long he's lived and what he's gone through. A person is not going to come out of that the same. They're not going to be all there anymore. I'm surprised with how well kept together he is, considering what happened to him. Jane didn't go through that. Han's been tortured for like a day in like the Blackfeet crisis. He was there for a year on Yusantar, having Vergi, however her name is spelled, however you say it, teaching him about the pain that the Yusong Vong so much get used to. I mean, look at people that come back from war. It changes you. So, as of right now, if he turned bad, I wouldn't understand it. But it is definitely laying seeds for that to work. So I don't see an issue with it. I'm going to keep going. People that say like, oh, these series ruined what New Jedi Order did. Meh, 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 meh. I don't agree. And that's fine if you don't agree with me either, but I think you're wrong. At least so far. Maybe I'll be proven wrong when I get to Legacy. Anyway. He meets Elena. It's very important for the rest of the series. Enough sleep is my note. So we get to the part where Ben starts flipping out. And remember, he's Luke Skywalker's kid. I mean, Ben and Jason and Jaina, they are all descendants of Anakin Skywalker. So, of course, they're going to be powerful in the Force. But Ben just starts being super strong in the Force. Freaking Tino Ka gets slammed against the wall, but she's still so strong and so awesome that with her one arm, because remember, she's been a one-armed lady for a long time here, since, the Young Jedi Knight series, and she still holds her baby, despite being thrown before she passes out, and she's still holding the baby when she passes out, because Tino Ka is awesome. But what's even more awesome, I mean, it's not for the best, but Jason gets kind of pissed there, and he's like, alright, stop. Freaking not force chokes him. He literally force pulls him straight into his freaking hands and then starts choking him. Doesn't kill him, just puts him to sleep. He's like, enough, go to sleep, and uses the Force to just knock him out. And like, considering how violent of just like it wasn't like he preemptively decided to do that. It was a very split-second decision, but he was causing a lot of havoc. And so, in a split second, he just throws Ben to his freaking hands and says, sleep, enough, sleep. And then he passes out. That was insane. Jason is getting so freaking powerful. They mentioned that in the last book, and I talked about it, but he's way more powerful than he was in the New Jedi Order series. It was a really cool moment, though. Alema Rar, we later find out that, she just wants to cast doubt into Mara and Luke's relationship, because if she does that, you don't need to have doubt on Lomi Plow. Just having doubt makes her able to hide or whatever. So that's the reason why Alema was doing that. But it gives access to us seeing a new memory. And then we get the scene, which is from episode 3, where Anakin Skywalker says, I want more, but I know I shouldn't. And it was cool to see another prequel era scene shown to Luke so that he could get, a bit of insight into his history. Jason just has a quick thought of ending. I'm sorry if you can hear that, by the way. Jason has a quick thought of ending to Chum. Tino Ka's grandmother, but he doesn't. He thinks that, though, which is still crazy enough, because his whole thing in the New Jedi Order was like, oh, we can't kill them, we have to preserve life. And now he's like, I could just end her. That would make things a lot simpler for me and her. He does do something along those lines without actually killing her, though. He makes her brain dead later on. Yeah, that was insane. I can't believe Jason is just OP as heck, man. He, first off, it kind of reminded me, and again, I don't want to make too many comparisons yet, but in episode 7, if you watched it, where Kylo Ren is going like that to Rey, and she's screaming, ah! That's basically what Jason Solo did first, by the way, to Chum to get information out of her. He's forcing her through the Force to give him the information. And the way it's described, she looks like she's in pain. He's and he grabs her by her hair, and he's you're gonna give me what I need to know right now. Give it to me. So he's not evil yet, but he definitely is doing some very negative things here. This is Anakin during the Clone Wars level of oh, well, if I do it once in a while to help the people I love, everything will be fine. I don't know, man. It's really cool, though. And I have to say, Jason was never my favorite character. I found him so annoying in New Jedi Order, and I thought he was cool in Young Jedi Knights. I liked his humor. But in New Jedi Order, till Traitor, I hated him. Then after Traitor, he's become one of my favorites. And I'm liking this character development. I'm excited to see it continue, despite what other people have said about his arc. He's one of the most compelling characters in the EU so far. So, we get another flashback to the prequels. We get to see the Jedi purge of the temple. Luke gets to see his father slaughtering younglings, and we get a mention of A.C. Crispin's Han Solo trilogy, because they talk about how while this was going on, Han would have been a kid with Garrick Shrike from book 1 of A.C. Crispin's Han Solo trilogy, Paradise Snare. So if you remember my review for that, that was a guy that like kind of raised him and stuff and helped him. Han was like that. It was like the kid who goes in the streets like, "Can you please give me some money?" And then they would. So it was nice to get a reference to that and to show how that connects. So like Han knew about it. He was old enough to know about it, but he wasn't like in the direct vicinity of it either. With all that stuff going on. Memory rubs. So Jason messed with Ben's head so he wouldn't remember what he did to him to stop him. The entire trip to Tino Call's place, he basically made him forget. Which is insane that he was able to do that. And just, whoa, Jason. Because he gets this whole plan of like, this is what we need to do. He gets a vision and basically makes T'Challa brain dead, and is like, we need to take out the Killiks. It's the only way to prevent future suffering, which is just such a drastic change. Now I kind of want a book dedicated to that 5-year sojourn. What happened to him during those 5 years? What did he learn? I know we're getting bits and pieces. Maybe we'll get more in Legacy, but my goodness, he's changed significantly in like 5 years. We get a quick mention. It's nothing major, but we hear that Pelion is now in retirement, which is kind of sad, but at least he's still alive, so that's cool. One thing I wrote this down. I just think it was really nice that for the majority of this book, we got Han and Luke. Because I've noticed when you're reading these stories, you may have Han, Luke, and Leia together, but you never really have like a Luke and Han story. So it was nice to have them be paired off and just have it be them for a while. I mean, there's other side characters, but as for main characters, it was just them. And I thought that was really nice that they could play off each other. Because remember, they are good friends, and they're brothers now. Like, we just don't. I don't think we get to see that enough, that they are friends. They're family, and they say hi to each other and stuff. But it's just nice to see them, have not like fun, but like have their personalities bounce off one another and show like how they're older now, but they're still good buds, I guess. Lastly, I only wrote. There was more that happened after, but the last note I wrote was when Alemerar tells Leia that she's too old to become a real Jedi now. And Leia's like, we need to teach you some manners. And then they have an epic duel. And I really like that Leia's now becoming more like, embracing that part of her like father's life, the Jedi life. And, she was a career politician. She was a mother. She did all that. Now she wants to be a Jedi. And I really like that we're going to see her do more of that stuff, because it's always been Luke. And it's nice to see her finally take on that part of herself as well and start being a part of that. So I really like that. Of course, it looks like we're gearing for war at the end of this book. And will we be able to find peace at the end of the next book? You'll have to join me for that. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give a thumbs up, sharing episode a ton, and I'll see you in the next video.